What is going on, everybody? And welcome to another Those Guys You Hate mini-sesh. Tyler, my brother, how are you?
I'm good, Ryan. How are you and those nips doing?
My nips are great, man.
That's great, buddy.
I know that you don't like that I record without a shirt on or pants, but I like to feel good when I'm in here.
But at least you could go business casual and Donald Duck it and just wear the shirt.
I'm wearing one of those tuxedo thongs. What a mini-sesh is, where Tyler and I, unlike the regular show, where it has a stand-up comedy feel to it, we go back and we tell a story from our past.
Yes.
And this one we can both get on because if I remember it correctly, which I'm not sure that I do, we were both there for this one, okay? I believe the stage will be set in beautiful, exotic Barbados. Tyler, have you ever been to Barbados?
We went together.
Yes, we did. I know. We're on a podcast. And while we're in Barbados, do you remember anything in particular that we did? Anything stand out to you?
I believe in Barbados, was that not the Segway tour?
It was the Segway tour.
That's right.
And what a Segway is, it's a people mover. We've all seen it. Paul Blart, Mall Cop, iconically rode a Segway. It is where you stand on a platform.
Iconically, you say.
Iconically.
Okay.
I believe.
I think you're holding that movie and that character to a very high standard.
Could somebody please get the Smithsonian on the phone? Tyler, you've derailed the show and you sound like a fool.
I'm just criticizing your choice in words.
You know Sir Paul of Blart? Tyler?
And Sir Paul Blart to you.
I don't know why you did this to the show.
Sorry.
So it's one of those people movers where you stand on it.
And it does all the walking for you.
It does the walking more like rolling. So we toured
it's a wheelchair for capable people.
Wow. I had not considered that. Wow. All right. Yes. Try out this new experience.
It's a wheelchair for people who are taking the easy way
That's
out.
exactly right.
Yeah.
And so we did a tour of the, what was it, waterfalls in Barbados? Or was it just Barbados in general?
Yeah, we went through some forested areas. There was a cliffside that we went to. We looked right over into the ocean. Yeah, it was just different landscapes, I would say, of Barbados itself.
Little Segway trivia. The man who invented the Segway, don't have his name, died on a Segway in Barbados.
Really?
That is, I mean,
in Barbados.
Week in review, I believe touring just the same thing that we did, lost control of his Segway. And much like robot legs, if you can't control it, you're in big time trouble over the cliff. Week in review. I've heard that many, many times.
Well, at least he went the way that he wanted to go. On his own invention.
Making his invention making him look foolish.
On his own terms, Ryan.
Not on his own terms at all. He definitely wanted to stop from all accounts.
You seem to know a whole lot about this case specifically and his wants and needs.
And about RC cars, Ryan. So we are on these Segways. Now, Segways are generally built for city life. They have the tires not unlike a golf cart.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah. Directly below you. You got a little handle system right in front of you. And all you do is motion back and forth to move.
The handles are not like a bike I guess they are to turn, but not as extreme.
It's more to keep your balance.
Your leaning is it's very intuitive, very fun. I really enjoyed myself.
It is.
So these were not equipped with those tires. They were actually equipped with almost like ATV off-road tires, which was, I have to say, pretty fucking awesome. I mean, can we agree with that?
It was cool, but there is something to be said, much like when you see somebody in like a 97 Civic get like big ass rims.
You mean the only way to drive a Civic? Go on.
Sure. You see this little delicate machine on top of these gigantic tires. And my first thought is, what is this guy compensating for?
I'm thinking, I'm going in a totally different way. I'm thinking of it like a game on my iPhone where it's just, okay, they got the tires. Now we're going to get the big metal armor that goes over the front. This thing's going to be Mad Max in 17 levels.
I saved up for a week and all I got were these tires.
I got the tires, but just squint and imagine a big giant horn coming out of the front.
There is something to be, you always go to the chariot. You always want to be in a chariot whenever you get a chance.
Electric Ben-Hur.
I'm just so curious about this.
I'm Spartacus, Tyler. And only me. So
that's Spartacus. No, that's him right over there.
No. It's me. It's me. I am the only Spartacus.
You know they want to kill Spartacus, right?
It's him. No. I was kidding around. I was doing a thing. We're doing a podcast here. It's him. So I don't know what I've heard people say it a million times. I don't know what it's in reference to. I assume a movie called Spartacus.
They want the person to identify themselves. So everybody rises up going, I'm Spartacus, wanting to take the blame.
Well, that makes no sense. They're all putting themselves in danger.
They're saying that they're all Spartacus. That's an idea.
All right, kill them all.
I never saw it. I hope that's the thing.
You nailed it, Tyler.
Thank you, buddy.
So we are on this trip. We're in off-road tires. The thing is, it's not built to like go crazy. It's literally a people mover. That's what it's called. It's made for, like I said, city areas where you have to be mindful of other people's space. So we are having fun, but we've also gone on tours on ATVs, which move a lot faster. I mean, it's more of an extreme situation than our beginning with the Segways.
Well, ATVs have been around so long, they have had time to become irresponsible in certain ways. You don't have to limit their speed. You can just gun those things now.
Sure. And you know what? I got to be honest. I was just about to do an ATV America's AFV joke, and I started it, and I'm like, even if somebody does get this, it's not going to be funny.
Man, but that would have been a joke for the whole family. No penis, no butthole, no nothing. Just a nice, fun initialism joke.
And that's why I decided not to do it. So we're doing it and we're having fun. And was this the one, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is this the one where we stopped for beers in the middle of the tour? Because there's a couple people, if you've ever gone on like, what do they call that? Where you're going down the wire?
A zip lining.
Skeet shooting, right? Or like the ATV, they have somebody leading you. They don't just let you go do your own thing, generally speaking.
Yeah, but then you're out 8 Segways. You're just standing there with your thumb up your ass watching people ride away with your livelihood.
They're like, oh, they don't see me with my thumb up my ass. I understand them leaving. Now, the thing is, it was beautiful. We had a very good time. But as always, the three Menendez brothers, we got antsy. We got antsy. We try to have a little mischief. You know what I mean?
Well, it was the lazy river of tours. We were moving at a very...
Wait a minute. Be very careful what you say about lazy rivers. I was just in a water park the other day. Lazy rivers, the best part of any water park.
Lazy rivers are one of the greatest inventions ever.
Sure, since fire.
If I am on 2 wheels, this is not a lazy river situation. I want to go.
I want action. And when we were on the previously mentioned ADV tours, I remember...
What's an ADV?
An ADV? You never heard of that? Put it into Pornhub. You love it.
America's dumbest videos.
We dropped all the way back. We would hang out and let the guy go up. So, now we got to catch up.
Yeah.
We create...
tension,
adventure and tension,
frustration,
invention. So on this one, we got to be buddies with the guy that they put all the way in the back, the guy to collect the stragglers. He's not even good enough to host the Segway tour, this guy.
Well, there was like 10 of us and there was 2 of them. You need a coupling to rope all of us crazy Americans in.
This is how Attica got started. There was a riot going on. So basically, all of a sudden, we're all driving. I believe that we've had a couple of beers, which I would not suggest when you're with my family giving it a tour.
I would say that's the only way that you can handle it.
No. Once you light the fuse, the Menendez family can be a lot.
Mm.
So all of a sudden, we're Segwaying, and our older brother, Michael Menendez, goes flying by us.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, his Segway has like eaten its spinach, and now it's, doing its thing. And of course, we go, what the fuck, dude? Like, what is happening? Do you recall this?
Well, I recall being towards the front of the line, and the only thing I see is you and Michael speeding past me. I think one of you flicked me off in the process.
Sounds like Michael.
And both of you had the biggest smiles on your face. And I was insanely jealous.
Sure.
If I had a metal rod at that time, I would have thrown it right through the spokes of your wheels.
I don't know that it would have worked that way. You'd have to be like Daredevil. So, look, okay, I broke my pelvis, but that was incredible, Tyler. I'm not even mad at you. Do it to Michael. So here's the thing that we didn't know. There is settings on said Segway.
Hidden settings.
And they really put it as basic as possible. There's literally either a turtle function or a rabbit function, which you feel like they could have done a little. That's very metaphorical and like spiritual in some sort of a way.
You got to keep it simple.
I like it.
You got to keep it simple.
So our now drunken host has put our Segways in rabbit mode, which is generally the only time I've ever been in rabbit mode is sex time.
Mm-hmm.
They have sex for short periods of time.
Yeah.
So,
very fast. Yeah. Gotcha.
With the width of a hair, Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
So all of a sudden we're flying. Now we've come to the end of the tour, but we've buddied up with these guys. So there's a little field. I mean, let's be honest. Barbados is a giant field. Can we agree with that?
With some hills and some ocean. Sure.
Okay, you can have a hill and a field.
Yeah.
Last I checked. Sorry about that, Barbados. It's a beautiful field. So we're just driving.
This is attacking international style.
Is it?
Your country that I went to and that I loved, you can be summed up as a field.
Wait a minute.
That's insulting.
I'm going to disagree because we have talked, and I mean this wholeheartedly, and I know I already have the tone of joking.
Yes.
So I'm trying to slow down.
Sure.
We talk on this show all the time about the dangers of consumerism and capitalism and how we don't believe it's in the long-term blueprint for success.
Sure.
A lot of these places that we visited have not been overtaken by that, at least on the bottom level, on the top level probably, but.
And what does that have to do with what we're talking about? As a nice little cover up. That was nice.
Is a field an insult?
Summing up their entire country, their entire civilization and culture as a field? Probably.
You're a terrible wingman.
Wingman? I'm a co-host.
No, man. I've been trying to fuck Barbados since we started this show. So anyway.
Well, you got to let me know ahead of time.
So we are now in a fielded area, they're kind of putting everything away, if I remember correctly. And we are now 3 loons with a Segway on rabbit mode. Do you recall this?
Well, they almost refused. They saw the tide turning, and after you two, it switched to hair because they weren't supposed to.
No,
they were supposed to stay in turtle the entire time,
and it makes a lot of sense.
Very much so for insurance purposes. I would imagine.
Absolutely.
I don't even know why they included that on the Segways.
You're in Barbados. Who gives a shit, man? Does insurance even exist?
This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about.
We're going to bleep that. It's just a joke.
We're not bleeping that.
I don't know anything about Barbados. Of course, insurance exists, man. Come on.
Is that a me or you?
Me. Jeez, bro.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
Every time that I come on one of these shows, I'm like, Ryan, not today, bro. Not today. Say what you mean.
Well, at least we know who's in charge.
I get caught. Bro, the power shift was early. So we're now in this field. And when I say field, it's not paved. There's divots. There are all of these things. We're now moving fast. And like with anything, I wanted to see if I could get better at it. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I feel super comfortable on this thing. We've been doing it for an hour, 2 hours, whatever. I think I could jump this thing.
Well, from child to adult, there's something inherent in almost all of us where we just want to test our limits.
Sure.
Regardless of age.
It's like a video game. You want to level up. And I know that's a beaten metaphor, but it's also true. The reason that people get addicted to these things, it's those little goals that I'm now a Segway jumper.
Well, Segway jump.
I'm a Segway jumper.
Slow it down, dude. We're not there yet.
I don't want to spoil the ending, but I got a couple of really nice jumps in.
Tony Hawk would have been impressed, is what you're saying.
Exactly right.
Right.
And so we're rolling around now.
Flying is the word.
We're now flying around in our people flyers, and of course, like always, Michael Menendez sees what I'm doing, and he's got to get in on it. I mean, this has been
what?
Oh yeah.
What?
That's true.
You're going to put that on him?
This has been going on since we were little kids.
Didn't you say that he was the first one to do it and you wanted to join in?
Not true whatsoever. This is like when I jumped off the staircase when we were on vacation and rolled away, and he did the same thing and crippled himself for 3 days.
I didn't realize this was going to be taking out the third Menendez. I had no idea.
What he did was dirty-handed. So I go over. I found a great little place to jump, okay? I'm not being defensive. You're the one who's being defensive. And so I did a jump. I landed it like a friggin' pro. What I did not realize is that Michael Menendez had done the same jump without giving me proper time to get out of the landing zone and landed on my back with a Segway. Smushed me, Tyler.
I thought you were on the ground. Didn't you fall after your jump?
I was hit by a Segway. Maybe I fell. I don't friggin' know.
That's okay. I'll give you that one simply because I feel like being hit full-bodied by a Segway with 220 pounds of man on top of it would definitely knock you over. And so I will give you that one.
What does a Segway weigh? I'm not good at this.
Oh, I mean, it's got to be
12 tons?
Yes, Ryan, 24,000 pounds.
My legs went through the crust of the earth. I now have robot legs like I talked about.
You got to say that's what, 70 to 100 pounds? I'm not great at measuring weight, but those things do.
Dude, if you pick that up, it would definitely be more than
You think so?
pounds,
Yeah,
for sure.
So there you go.
Nonetheless,
it's a heavy machine.
Upwards of 300 pounds landed on top of me in rabbit mode, which I think makes it heavier.
Oh, physics-wise, yes. You're speeding towards it.
Now, this is back at a time when the iPhone had not proliferated to become the world dominator that it is today. I, in my pocket, had a Kodak camera. A moment of silence for Kodak.
And a nice one on top of it.
A really nice one.
Very
It used to have this function where you could take 3 pictures as a, what do they call that?
A collage?
No. But
panoramic?
A panoramic. And this was at the burgeoning computer days. It was like when digital cameras first started, and it would stitch the 3 pictures together using what I assume is some form of magic.
Sure. Kids at the time, that technology was very impressive.
Dude, it was cutting edge.
Yeah.
And what was cool about it is you could get up from where you were sitting in the first picture and position yourself in the following 2 pictures and have a picture of yourself chatting with yourself.
Anybody under the age of 25 that hears this is rolling their eyes right now.
And anybody listening to this at any age is like, that guy's a fucking narcissist. How many pictures you take talking to yourself, Blair?
Unfortunately, the only number I could get, the highest number I could get was 3. I tried to get 8 of me.
I started using a pulley system with mirrors. I have a picture of me just like, literally kissing my own ass.
Well, and I also remember the first photo you did of that was you arguing with yourself, which is just the perfect representation of our relationships with ourselves.
Absolutely right. Could somebody shut this guy up? So the reason that I bring up the camera is, and hopefully a reasonable dismount for this show, is he crushed me in such a way that when I got back to our hotel, wherever it was we were staying, and removed my Dickie shorts that came down to my mid shin at the time.
Yeah.
I had the Kodak camera indentation of a perfect rectangle on my left ass cheek.
You did. However, you're misrepresenting it. You did not wait to get back to the
did I
hotel
do it
room.
there?
You were sitting in the back seat of the van.
Keep it classy, San Diego.
Bent over so your butt was sticking above the seats and removed your pants just enough so I could see
Really?
the perfect. I still have the image of your bare ass
Sure.
with that perfect indentation of redness strung along it.
And I don't want to tell you what the O in Kodak was.
Butthole joke, ladies and gentlemen.
And a whole butt joke. Isn't that crazy?
We've come full circle, pun intended.
I'm sorry for disappointing you guys in this week's mini-sesh.
My assumption is they're expecting it at this point.
I mean, you must be. Tyler, you know what? It's really fun for me to come in here and talk about these things because in my mind, I'm getting the feeling of being on those family vacations. We're leaving for a family vacation in like 5 days.
We are.
Which is super awesome.
We are.
And that was really fun. I really enjoyed telling that story with you. I like telling the ones that you remember because then we could do it together and you could correct me ad nauseum.
Yes. The best image that I have of that moment, and I hope it's true, you know how your brain can just make up images, but I do have an image of Michael mid-flight because I heard somebody make a noise as he went up and it was something else. And I turned around and looked and he was pretty much up and seeing where he was headed. And there was panic definitely in his eyes.
Sometimes panic looks a lot like aim, Tyler.
True. And he stuck the landing and just kept on rolling.
How did that spike come out of the bottom? That was weird. Mad Max, we're back. Tyler, great job this week.
Thank you. You too.
ThoseGuysYouHate.com. If you want to give us an emoji middle finger.
That's right. If you want to make fun of Ryan's damaged ass, go ahead and write to us and let him know.
It healed up too good. I can't poop. We're those guys you hate.
We'll kill Red circle.
Red circle. Treat emotions like visitors who are just passing through, kind of like diarrhea. I know this isn't where you want to start, Tyler.
I mean, you said that to me off air. You're going to subject our listeners to it now?
I didn't say the diarrhea part.
Well, no, not that. That saved it a little bit.
I mean, I'm just looking at a meme. You know, these memes of spiritual awakening and positivity. How are they doing?
Pretty well, apparently. You're sitting there reading them to us.
Well, people send me these things.
Gotcha.
How do you spell diarrhea?
D-I-A.
I got it.
H-E-R-R-A, I want to say.
What? Say that again.
D-I-A-H-E-R-R-A? No?
D-I-A-H-E, diarrhea. No, D-I-A-R-R-H-E-A.
I put the H in the wrong place.
See, so here's the story that I wanted to hold on to until we were on the air.
It was like 30 seconds ago.
Speaking of uplifting, do you remember that guy when you and I worked together at the bar who would come in at the very end, like every single night, and we would talk shit about him? Not talk shit about him, but it's frustrating when people come in that late. That's it. He had a son named Tyler. He's our buddy,
the talker. Ryan referred to him as the talker because he liked to talk, and Ryan likes to talk unless he deems you unworthy, and then he doesn't want to talk to you.
No, unless it's 11:30 and we close at 11 o'clock, then I don't want to be the talker anymore. I want to be the worker.
Yeah, unless somebody annoys you at the bar, then you're like, I ain't fucking putting up with this guy.
Which is most people. It's really, I really use, much like I use the gym to further myself and my exploits of trying to grow, the bar is there too, because there's so many buttons that can be pressed.
Mm-hmm.
If you could bring that kind of spiritual thought into a high intensity place like that, you're really doing something.
You know, there are healthier places for growth.
Strip club.
Going the wrong way, buddy.
The basement of a strip club.
Getting warmer.
It is.
Yeah, it's great that you can grow from those experiences.
Oh, I didn't say I was doing it. I said the option is there.
Oh, well, it's good that you can acknowledge that route is open to others.
And what else I acknowledge is if I call you the talker, you need to reevaluate your life. If I think you talk too much, then we need to sit down with somebody and really discuss the parameters of what you're doing.
But you've never said that to him.
I imply it with my eyes.
Sure, buddy.
Nonetheless, he came in last night for the first time in a long, long time.
Yeah.
Haven't seen him. Mentioned you, says hello. Cancer, Tyler.
Oh.
Cancer, lost like 50 pounds.
Oh.
Showed me literally, I mean, as he so eloquently put it, cut him from his neck to his dick. Abdomen cancer, bro.
What, how's he doing?
Those guys you hate.
How's he doing?
Not good. He had cancer.
No, I get it, but you said that they removed it from his abdomen?
Yeah, they did all sorts of like crazy. I mean, he was there eating a steak and having a beer and a shot.
Oh, good.
No,
good for him.
And the reason why I bring it up is, man, I talked very recently about a book written by
Michael A. Singer?
Mitch Albom.
Ah, there you go.
You know, the guy who wrote Tuesdays with Morrie and stuff like that. And there's something that's very interesting about seeing somebody's rise through their financial, what they want, getting to where they want to be and recognizing this isn't it and starting over with a different form of currency, let's say. Does that make sense? Or is that too pompous?
No, just realizing what's important in life. I've spoken before on people who reach towards the end of their life, 70s and 80s, and they get to the end and realize they have all this monetary stuff. And they're like, man, my kids won't talk to me. And they realize, man, I don't have any of the important stuff here at the end.
What am I investing in? And this guy, for all of the syllables that he spewed at us unnecessarily, seems like a good dude, cares about his family, cares about his kids, very invested. His perspective on life has shifted dramatically. And while I could have been doing a lot of other things, because of course he came in at the very end of the night, that did not change. They did not remove that from his body.
Well, he had cancer, Ryan. Now he has the whole world is open to him because he's basically a very tall Make-A-Wish kid.
That's exactly right. He was dressed up like Batman. It was weird.
Let him do his thing.
Yes, okay, fine. The Riddler's cooking your French fries, okay, dude? That's weird that I couldn't place a food group.
You really struggled. The only thing you struggle with in the sentence is food. And that's your job.
I swear to you, I was
French fries.
As if I've never eaten at this restaurant. I couldn't recognize one single food item that they cooked there.
The equivalent of somebody asked me, what do you like to do for fun? And I totally forget everything in my life.
Or if you walk into like a CD store and you can't remember what album you wanted to buy.
God, you are old.
What?
God, you are old.
You've never done that at a Sam Goody?
God, when I was walking into Sam Goody's, I was with my parents. So no, I didn't have
I recall I was there.
I didn't have a stable form of income. So no, I wasn't just dropping money on new albums.
A lot harder to steal music back then. They had this big, like, you
had to physically take it.
Every single album had the club on it.
It's true. That's true. So and there was no internet.
Nonetheless, it was there. Al Gore just hadn't released it to the rest of us plebeians. It just was very interesting to talk to this guy. And again, it was late and I was trying not to be like, come on, man. But it was very interesting to catch his brand new perspective on life.
Yeah. Yeah. I dated a girl once who her father was one of those really hard asses. He was very strict, had a heart attack, was inches away from death. And on the other side,
I wonder if those two things are correlated.
Oh, I can only being under that much strain, all the muscles being activated all the time.
This is what being a grown up looks like, Tyler.
Being a man, I would assume. And
a grown up man.
And yes. And yeah, that's the whole thing. If that's what it is, I do not aspire to be that. But he had the heart attack, almost died. And I met him on the other side of that before I had ever interacted with him. And he just came out of that totally. He's like, she relayed to me. He basically came out the other side of that going, why am I angry all the time? Why am I upset? Why am I stressed about these things? I almost effing died.
His ass was much less hard.
That's one way of putting it.
When we had a brother and sister passed away, man, are we having a good time.
Yeah.
Let's do the show.